Good morning and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know, I love getting your day started off on the right foot. And to help with that, I use an inspiring quote. And today's is so good. Specifically because here we sit, January 2nd, 2024. Where did 2023 go? But here we are, a brand new year. And so a lot of people, they're making resolutions. They're deciding, hey, this is what I'm going to do different this year. And if that's you, I think that's great. Yeah, set those goals and try to achieve them. But remember to turn it into a marathon, not a sprint, okay? Because it takes little changes along the way. And that's really the sentiment, the heart of today's inspiring quote from Karl Barth, who said, although no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start now and make a brand new ending. And that's the joy of this life. It's that, hey, you know what? It's not over yet. I can make changes. I can be better. I can overcome obstacles. I can get over mistakes that have tripped me up in the past. Yeah, so I want you to be encouraged today that, well, maybe you've seen a few errors in your ways in the past. Well, guess what? You can learn from those and you can make this year, this 2024, the best one ever by just making those small changes. Maybe it's a huge goal that you have. Maybe it's a big thing in your life that you're going to have to change. Can I just suggest that you do it in small increments? You don't try to do everything all at once because lots of times we burn out that way. So give yourself a little grace. Talk with God about the situation and ask Him for the next right step to make that situation better in your life. And He'll give it to you. And I love the way He does it. Sometimes it's by divine revelation. He'll just tell you what you need to do. Other times, He'll use people to kind of coax you in the right direction, kind of guide you here. People you can walk alongside. So just be open to it, okay? Be open to Him impacting your life. And everything's going to be just fine. Hey, you can do this. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Do you enjoy a healthy discussion, maybe even a little bit of a debate? Yeah, well, how vocal are you in Sunday school? How often do you raise your hand and want to say something, you know, when it's allowed, of course? Well, came across this little bit of an exchange over on TikTok between people about, well, age and how old the oldest person who was in the Bible. How long did they live? Well, you've got to stick around for this. It made me laugh out loud, and I'm sure it'll make you laugh too, so we'll get into it after this. I really like a good discussion, maybe even a debate. When I don't quite understand something, I want to make sure that I know it fully. I don't know about you, but sometimes that can get me into a little bit of trouble. I think that I know something, but I speak up and I find out quickly, no, that's not exactly how it is. Yeah, it's a very humbling experience, I know. But, I mean, how else would we figure it out? Sometimes it takes us feeling 2 inches tall to become better, and I don't like that either, but it's just the way it is. I came across these people over on TikTok having a little bit of a discussion. One lady is totally believing in what she's saying, and then the other people point out that, no, that's not exactly right, and it just keeps going. It's a little bit of a train wreck, but it's hilarious, and it made me laugh so hard. So I want you to hear this. See what you think.
Did anybody else realize that children born in 2023 potentially live to see the year 3000?
If they're a Bible character, that's 977 years.
Justin, the oldest person recorded in the Bible was Methuselah, and he only made it to 969. So really not even a biblical age of 977. Not gonna hold it against you. Not all of us had the upbringing that some of us did being the pastor's kid.
Brother Bard, you'd be right if you wasn't wrong. If you had listened when you was sitting in that pew as a pastor's kid, you would know Methuselah is not the oldest living Bible character. It's Jesus, because Jesus lives.
My Redeemer lives.
What'd you think about that? Oh, wow. Who are some other people? Other people that might have lived longer. Well, there's Elijah. There's Enoch. Yeah. For the longest time, ever since I heard the story, especially of Enoch, that's been a bucket list item for me, is I just want to be so close to God that he just takes me and I don't have to experience this whole death thing. Wow, here's hoping, right? Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. How outgoing are you? Will you talk to a complete stranger? Let me tell you, this past Thursday night, my little girl, my wife, and I, we stopped by and picked up my little girl's friend, Grayson. And we all went to go grab a bite to eat. And we went to the theater and we saw that new Migration movie. Oh, so much fun. It's a cute cartoon. If you haven't seen it yet, I would highly recommend it. It's a fun movie. But while we're there at the theater, I'm waiting in line to get some popcorn and stuff for the kids. So as I'm there, this guy comes up behind me and I notice his hat. I've seen his hat before. And I strike up a conversation about his hat. And then it moves from that to an NF hoodie that his son's friend is wearing. And it's like we talk about that for a few minutes. And it's funny because I never would have done that earlier on in life. I just feel more comfortable now, I guess. I don't know, maybe hanging out here with you every morning has really helped me come out of my shell a little bit. And then there was another instance where I talked with somebody. I noticed they were coming out of the theater after watching Willy Wonka. I'm like, what did you think about Hugh Grant playing the Oompa Loompa? Did you like it? And we struck up a conversation there. So you just never know what you might have in common with somebody, right? Well, every now and then, could I give you a little bit of a challenge? Yeah, more of a dare than anything else. Why don't you play a little joke or a little prank, but not one that's going to leave somebody feeling like they're less than. It's one that's going to put a smile on their face. I came across what happened for this server at a restaurant, and I thought, this is perfect. So here's the example, okay? This person says, today at work, a guy said, is it okay if I wait at the bar until a hot blonde walks in? And I said, sure. And I laughed like he was joking. Then a blonde actually walks in and he winks at me, introduces himself to her, and she rolled her eyes and kissed him. It was his wife. And that made my day. Playing a little joke like that on a complete stranger, it can put a smile on their face, and it can make their day. So look for interesting, practical ways to impact your world. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that you're sharing your faith with them. Sometimes it's that you just make them laugh. And the next time you see them, that softened them up a little bit. And you've got a little more of an opportunity to share with them your faith. So just think about that. Put a smile on somebody's face today. I love that little story. Here's Andrew Ripp with Rejoice right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me. It really means a lot. And thank you for helping me come out of my shell, because I was really an introvert. And your word of life today comes to you from Psalm 73, verse 26 in the New Living Translation of the Bible. My health may fail and my spirit may grow weak, but God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. Wow. I love that whole idea. It's though these other things might be changing, I know in who I can rely, because he's rock solid. And that's good stuff. That's worth sharing with somebody. So why don't you do just that? We've got that word of life ready for you across all of our socials to share with your friends and family on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and TikTok. And it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. Well, here we are at the top of a brand new year, and I know that you're seeing all of this out there. Hey, join the gym now for $1 a month, or, the diet plans, the Nutrisystem, all the other commercials and the things where people are saying, hey, you want to lose weight? We can help you. This is the best, newest way to do it. Well, I want to give you a little bit of a word of warning coming up about a brand new trend. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called souping. That's right. You heard that correctly. Souping. Well, what exactly is that? Well, stick around. We'll talk about it and maybe give you a little advice on what to check out and what to kind of stay away from when it comes to getting healthier in this new year. Grilled cheese and tomato soup. Chicken noodle soup with crackers. Or one of my favorites, and this was from when I was growing up, tuna fish sandwich with ramen noodles. Oh, it just hits the spot. It's good stuff. Well, soup is usually seen as a side dish, right? It's not usually the main event, unless we're talking pho. That P-H-O, it's how you spell it, but you say it pho. We used to have a fantastic pho here in Guntersville. I've had that soup before. It is delicious, but you know what? Soup is not very filling. Well, let's just say if it is filling, it's because there's so much liquid, right? So with that being said, in this new year, there's so many ideas for resolutions, right? Ways to make ourselves better. Maybe yours is to lose weight, be more healthy. Well, that's a great goal. I want to warn you about some fads and promises that are being made to unassuming people that will, quote, fix your problems. Well, first, there are a lot of diet plans out there, right? Atkins or low carb, that's been out there for years. How about paleo or Mediterranean or carnivore or keto or juicing, detox, all these different things out there. But what about souping? Yeah, you heard that right. Souping. It's kind of new, and it's got a similar feel to juicing. And just like any fad out there, though, it can have some drawbacks, such as antibiotics and pesticides from the processed meats and vegetables. And then there's higher water intake that isn't necessarily great for people with kidney or heart problems. And the whole idea as well that you're probably not going to be eating soup for the rest of your life and only soup. So that means that you're not really learning how to do portion control, or, you're not looking at the best ways to prepare different kinds of food. Or the whole idea that eating food is for the nourishment and not just to feel full. So my whole warning is this: with any of these fads out there, it's a really good idea to talk with your doctor about them before you start them. And ask them, hey, what do you think about this? And they might tell you, well, it's a great idea, but it just doesn't work. It's not sustainable. Or they may tell you, it's a great idea as long as you supplement with this, that, and the other to make sure that you're getting a well-balanced diet. So that's it. If you're wanting to start one of these things, just have a quick conversation with your doctor and ask them, hey, what do you think about this? And let them point you in the right direction. Yeah? Sound good? Just be careful out there. It's good to lose weight, but you want to do it the healthy way, in a way that will be able to, be sustained. It's not really a diet. It's more of a lifestyle change, right? Yeah, I know. I've been struggling with my weight for most of my life. I'm glad to say that I'm lower now than I was at my heaviest. I have lost about 104 pounds so far, and I'm still working on it. So this is a battle that I'm in every day. And I'm making the small changes that are making the biggest difference over time. Am I seeing a ton of weight come off all at once? No, I'm not. But you know what? I'm okay with that, as long as I keep going in the right direction. I keep losing that extra weight because I want to be around for a really long time. I've got a 9-year-old daughter, and I want to see the milestones in her life. So I'm making decisions, making changes that need to be made, but I'm doing them small, incremental, and I'm getting there. So I just wanted to encourage you. And don't get too caught up in the fads and the promises out there. Talk with your doctor and do something that's going to be sustainable. Sound good? Hey, I love hanging out with you. I love doing life with you, talking about all the stuff. We're going to talk about a lot more stuff between now and 10 o'clock, so I hope you'll stick around with me. And remember, you can always tune us in online at 885jfm.com. Click that On Now button, press play, and you're good to go. Why is it so painful? I mean, really, when you think about it, it's just a bunch of college-age kids out on a football field playing a game, right? Except here in the South, it's like one of the biggest things ever. Yeah, college football. And there was a huge game yesterday. We even had a local tie to the whole place where it was played, the Rose Bowl, where the Albertville High School Marching Band actually played in the parade. That was so cool. Did you catch it yesterday? I saw it on NBC. I actually videoed it. I'm going to have to share it on the station's socials so you can see it for yourself. But the game, everybody was looking forward to this. Alabama got a chance to play against Michigan. Team number 1 and number 4 coming together. And of course, here in Alabama, we're all thinking, roll tide. This is going to be easy. But it wasn't. But a lot of us get the cart before the horse, and we make some assumptions, don't we? Yeah, we just decide that our team is the best before they even go out there and play the game. And that can get you into a little bit of trouble, especially if you're a betting kind of person. Well, Justin Nunley decided to do a little bit of that betting. And, let's just say that he stayed true to what he said he would do. Now, while you can't see this take place, you can definitely hear it. Take a listen.
Well, that didn't go as planned. I know why you're all here. So here you go. Not so fast. In case you don't know what's going on, I made this ridiculous claim back on December the 5th. Alabama beat Michigan by 21 in that game, dog. And I even proposed to bet with Scott D. Henry and set the parameters of the bet. Here they are. So if Michigan wins, I will have to come on and I will have to wear a Michigan jersey, wearing a diaper, singing Hail to the Victors. And I'm a man of my word, so without further ado, hail to the victors valiant, hail to the conquering heroes, hail, hail to Michigan, the leaders and best. Go blue. Go ahead, rub it in. All jokes aside, congrats, Michigan. Toughest opponent we played all season. Good luck next week in the national championship. You're not going to need it. Congrats on the national championship.
Yeah, he wore the jersey and the diaper. Can I wash my eyeballs now? Oh, don't make stupid bets. She stood there mortified. One mom completely astounded and wondering why her daughter asked Santa for food for Christmas, while telling Santa that they didn't have any food in the house. Oh my. This mom is like, where is this coming from? This is out of left field. What is she talking about? She was very apologetic to Santa. It's like, oh, we're fine. We have plenty of food. Let's just say this little girl is going to learn that context is key. Your little one ever embarrassed you before? Yeah? Well, stick around and I'll tell you exactly what happened. And it might just make you laugh after this. Casey was at a loss for words when she took her little one to go see Santa, and her daughter sat on Santa's lap and told him, well, I'll let her tell you.
So my daughter sits on Santa's lap and says, hey, Santa, can you please bring us some food? We don't have any food in the house. I'm on the sidelines going, that is such a kind offer. Thank you. We're okay. Thank you so much. But she goes on to say, sometimes we find food, but mommy says we can only have it if we're really good. If you bring us food, I promise we'll be so good and we won't let the dog get it and ruin it. So she hops off Santa's lap and I say, baby, honey, I'm just curious. Why did you tell Santa to bring us food and tell him that we don't have any food? And she goes, well, mommy, we don't have any food. And I go, baby, I know we went to Chick-fil-A tonight, but that was because Mama didn't want to cook, not because we don't have any food, honey. And that alone is such a blessing. She gets irate with me. No, Mommy, we don't have any food. After a little while of this back and forth, she says she means food for the play kitchen. She means play kitchen food. Wish me luck.
Context is everything, right? Santa didn't know it was play kitchen food. To that little girl, it was just food. That's what she was talking about. She's got to be a little more expressive, I think, a little more descriptive in what she has to say, and she'll learn that. But my goodness, this one video over on TikTok has opened up a can of worms. All of these parents telling on their kids, saying what has happened to them. For instance, this mom says, my daughter told Santa she wants a blanket because she doesn't have any. Clean. She didn't have any clean because she wet the bed and they were in the dryer. So that's the reason why she didn't have a blanket. Corbin says, my son told a teacher I locked him out because I asked him to sleep in his own bed one night and not mine. And the teachers did, in fact, call CPS. Andrea says, my son told his teacher that I've been working late at night because I work polls. I work in politics. It was election season. Oh, I love it. So those kids, sometimes they leave out the important details and it leaves you at a loss for words. But it's okay. You're going to survive. Well, I think it's really important for us to do a little bit of an inventory as we're moving into the beginning of this brand new year. What kind of lessons did we learn in 2023? Well, I came across this lady who's doing a little bit of that, and I wanted to share this with you. Now, this is from Mel Robbins, and this makes a whole lot of sense.
Hey, it's your friend Mel, and I've been reflecting a lot on this past year, and there are 4 amazing life lessons that I learned the hard way that I want to share with you. Lesson number 1, you want to be happier, drop the sword. What does that mean? It means stop fighting against your own happiness. Stop focusing on what's wrong. Stop bracing because you think everything's going to go off the rails. Drop the sword. Allow happiness in. Lesson number 2, forget about balance. Focus on boundaries. See, when you focus on trying to achieve balance, everything in your life is competing against each other. Focus on boundaries, because then you have to take responsibility for understanding your values and your priorities and creating boundaries that allow everything to have its proper place. 3rd lesson, frustration is a good thing. Don't let frustration keep you stuck. Frustration is a sign you've outgrown where you are and it's time to level up. Finally, change takes a year. Stop trying to rush the big changes. Just tell yourself it'll take a year. And when you say it'll take a year, you can settle in to the rhythm and the consistency that big changes require. Those are the 4 big lessons I learned the hard way this year, and I sure hope they help you create a better life.
What a crazy couple of weeks, right? I mean, it was a whirlwind, and likely things kind of piled up. Maybe the wrapping paper, the gift bags, the boxes, all of the stuff. You've got new stuff. You've got to declutter. You've got to clean up. Yeah, it's really hard sometimes. I came across this mom. Well, she's definitely dealing with a lot of that right now, and I bet you can relate. So I'm going to share her story with you. Her name is Heather. The struggle's real, and Heather's going to tell you all about it next. The holidays are done, and I know it was quite a whirlwind, right? I bet your house really took a hit. All the new stuff, having to find room for it, having to clean up all the clutter, all the other things that come with the holidays, and friends and family over, and hopefully you can finally take a little bit of a breath and relax. But yeah, Heather found herself in the same situation, and actually she's dealing with it in a way that I think a lot of us do, but you be the judge. Take a listen.
My house is trashed. I've had family in town all week long. There's literally piles of boxes from Christmas everywhere. I have Christmas decorations everywhere. I want to make a cup of coffee because I woke up over an hour ago, but my sink is full of dishes, and if I go to make a cup of coffee, then I have to do something about the sink full of dishes, which would be fine except for my dishwasher is full of clean dishes. So in order for me to load the dirty dishes into the dishwasher, I've got to unload the clean dishes, which again is fine except for there's also stuff all over my countertops, and if I go to put the dishes away, then I also may as well put all of the stuff on the countertops away. And if I'm going to do that, then I really just need to go ahead and put my shoes on, because there's also a lot of garbage that needs to go out. So I haven't made a cup of coffee or done any cleaning. I have been sitting and doom scrolling on my phone, and I will most likely continue to doom scroll on my phone for the rest of the day, because if I get up to do one thing, then I'm pretty certain that means that I have to get up and do all of the things. And since I can't do all the things, I will do nothing instead.
So if you find yourself in the same boat as Heather, could I give you just a little bit of advice? Do a little bit along. It goes a long way. Like, set a timer on your phone for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Devote that much time to getting whatever it is you need to get done. And then when the timer goes off, stop. Go take a break. And then later on in the day, come back, another 15 minutes. Another 10 minutes, and see if those little bites don't help you get through all the workload. And besides that, don't think you have to do it alone. Get the family involved. Yeah, you know what? There are some people who might even like to come over and hang out with you. Some friends even you haven't seen in a while. Say, hey, want to come over? Help me clean up a little bit. We'll chat. Hey, it might happen. You can always put it out there. There are people who really want to spend some time with you. So there you go. Just some ideas. Hot dogs are delicious, but do you eat them very often? Oh, lots of times they're at a concession stand, right? Or you might see the hot dog truck or the hot dog cart out and about. Actually, right here in Gunnersville, we've got a guy who does that. But you rarely see a hot dog restaurant where that's what they specialize in. But that's exactly what Scott decided to do, and he's had his business for 4 years now. He's done okay, but recently he was kind of just gazing out of his storefront window, standing by the door, watching for people to come into his business. Yeah, things were slow. Kind of reminds me of a puppy waiting for somebody to come home. He was kind of down in the dumps. He was wondering why nobody was coming in. Well, he was noticed by a customer who just happens to have a little bit of clout over on social media. And this guy decided to post a little something about it. Said, hey, let's get Scott some customers. What happened next? Woo, it's good. It's a good news story, and I can't wait to share it with you next. Scott Hosick found himself just kind of staring out of his business door, that glass door up front, scratching his head and wondering, what's going on? Why are people not coming into my restaurant? You see, Scott decided 4 years ago to start a hot dog restaurant. Yeah, it's called Spirals, Hot Dogs and More. It's in Norman, Oklahoma. And while he was standing there just kind of gazing out, well, he had a customer on the inside, Nick Chappell, who was there with a friend of his. He's an Oklahoma Army National Guard guy. And, well, Nick decided that he'd snap a picture of what Scott was up to and tell everybody on social media, hey, We're here on our Hot Dog Wednesday, and we noticed the business owners kind of wondering, why people aren't coming in. I wonder if maybe we could get him some customers. And he put it on Snapchat, then he put it on Facebook, and then it went viral. Yeah, they basically doubled their sales that day. It was crazy. And you see, Scott had no idea what was going on because Nick didn't say, hey, this is what I'm planning on doing. But when Nick found out that everything was kind of ramping up for Scott, he's like, should I take the post down? And Scott's like, no, keep that thing up there. And so they've been doing very well ever since. It's just amazing how putting that little post out there, letting people know there was a need, really inspired people to come and contribute. Come check out Spirals, this hot dog joint. And I'm taking a look at the menu. Can I just tell you, they got some delicious things on that menu. It's all about the toppings. They got chili mac and cheese, onions, bacon, and crumbles. Cream cheese put on top of a hot dog. All these different things that make it so good. And like I said, you see, Scott's been doing this for 4 years, and he was just wondering what's up. And now people have found him. They've tried it. I think they'll be coming back. So it's just one of those feel-good stories of somebody who was kind of having a hard time in a tough spot, and somebody else noticed it and decided to do something about it. Could I remind you that you have that kind of power today, that you can impact somebody's world just like that, even with a simple post. So hey, go impact your world for the better today. All right? Sound good? Now I want a hot dog. Real bad. So ladies, what kind of man do you have? Are they bougie at all? Ooh, good question, right? Stick around, we'll talk about it. Had some friends over last night at the house to watch the Alabama football game. No, the outcome wasn't what I had hoped for, but we still had a good time just hanging out, right? Yeah, and while they were there, Zach, well, he found something in my bathroom. Yeah, it's sitting there. I mean, it's not hard to find. It's a beard oil. And he made the comment to my wife, actually to his wife, Dana, and said, hey, Dana, Steven's getting bougie. And she's like, what? And I'm like, what? He said, yeah, he's got beard oil in his bathroom. I'm like, oh, yeah. I do have some beard oil in there. And it smells really good, too. My wife got it for me a while back. I like that stuff. But anyway, you heard that term, bougie? Yeah. What exactly does it mean? Well, Carla is going to kind of help us out with her version of bougie. And ladies, I wonder if you can relate to this.
Listen, there are bougie men, and then there's blue-collar bougie men like mine. These are the men that typically grew up with very little, but also have a really strong work ethic and a touch of the shiny object syndrome. For example, they will go to the grocery store and buy generic cereal and Pop-Tarts, but never skimp on caffeine and energy drinks. They will wear an $8 t-shirt and $250 boots. They will coupon and eat cheap so that they can spend a paycheck on truck upgrades. They will work overtime and hate every second of it, but do it so that they can have the things that they want. They understand that certain things hold value, but the most important thing is that you'll never go without. They will go without things that they need so that their family, kids, woman, old lady can have everything that they want. And that's the best kind of bougie, if you ask me.
So there you go. Blue collar bougie. What do you think about that? Is it just me, or sometimes when you pray, do you feel like maybe, I don't know, is God really hearing my prayer? Is he really listening to me? Let me encourage you a little bit. Came across a story of this hunter out in the woods. He's got quite the story to share with you. While you can't see it, I'll describe what exactly is happening right after you hear this comment. It's going to rock your world, and it might inspire you to have another conversation with God today. Take a listen.
I was out hunting today. Come up on this old lake way back in the woods, and I saw an eagle all the way across it. See the lake. And I said, Lord, I sure would like to get close to that eagle, because sometimes I feel like you don't always hear me, but if you hear me today, let me get close. I had a bald eagle land on my shoulder. out here hunting. I don't think you can get no closer than that right there. At all.
This guy is wearing his camo. He's wearing his orange. He's got a big orange Bass Pro Shops hat on. And as he moves the camera, you see that bald eagle is still sitting on his shoulder. Wow. God is listening to our prayers every time we talk to him. I hope that encourages you today. And I hope you've had an experience like that before where you asked God for something specific and you got it. If not, well, just keep asking. Keep in conversation with him. We're supposed to pray continually. We're supposed to be in conversation with our Father all the time. So I hope that you will do a little more of that today.
Put God first in everything you do. Everything that you think you see in me, everything that I've accomplished, everything that you think I have, and I have a few things, everything that I have is by the grace of God. Understand that. It's a gift.
I love when celebrities put their faith front and center. That was Denzel Washington, by the way. Pretty cool stuff, huh? Now let's play a song from Mr. Larry Walls. It's called Get Down, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Congratulations, you're here. You made it. Here we are in 2024, the second day of January, and we've got a whole year ahead of us. What did you learn from 2023? Now, how are you going to be better this year? Are you making resolutions? Yeah? Do you have some big goals? Well, I wonder if maybe you could use a little help reaching those big goals. Came across this guy a while back. He is so good with words. His name is Ron Minutrea, and he actually helps leaders become better leaders. And he's got a little advice for you this morning. I just want to pass it along. So can I? See what you think about this.
Here's 3 tips for setting goals that'll set you up for a more successful 2024. Number 1, before you decide what you want to do or achieve, ask yourself the question, who do I want to become? And let that drive all the other decisions around what it is you need to achieve. Number 2, see 2024 as a marathon, not a sprint. Sprinters run all out. Marathoners pace themselves. They plan differently. They fuel differently. Make 2024 a marathon and see how all those projects fit together so that you have a sustainable 2024. And lastly, don't set too many goals. Pick about 7, plus or minus 2, so that's 5 to 9. And remember, the strength of your yes is multiplied by the power of your no. So make a hard look at what's on your list of trying to achieve, and make sure you say no to things that don't actually advance you to becoming who you want to be. Have a great day, and have a great 2024.
Yeah, again, that's Ron Minutrea, and if you want to find out more about him, he's all over the socials. I found him on TikTok. You can search him out there. He also developed this thing called the Exponential Mindset. Even does a podcast. If you want more information, you can find him right there on TikTok, but he's always got great advice. Just had to pass it along to you. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. So recently, my little girl Grace, she started up this conversation, and she asked us, what kind of animal would you want to be if you weren't a human? What would you want to be? What kind of animal? And so I answered a dog because, they're taken care of. All they have to do is just sleep and eat, and we take care of everything else for them, right? So yeah, I'd love to be a dog. And my wife, she said, well, when she was, little, she wished she could have been a dolphin, but nowadays, probably a dog for the same reasons. I said, no. You're a little too spicy to be a dog. I think you need to be a cat. I got a chuckle out of her on that one. Grace said that she would like to be maybe a dog, a cat, a turtle, or a dolphin. Wow, it's good stuff. And my mother-in-law, Nana, she said, I'd like to be a bird. And I think that's amazing, right? But animals, they hold a really soft spot in our hearts, especially our pets. Yeah, I don't know if you've got a dog, a cat, a gerbil, a chinchilla, a ferret. I've no clue, but whatever it is, I'm sure you love them, right? Yeah. Well, I think maybe it's good for us to see the world from the perspective of one of those pets. So here, see what you think about math. It's not boy math. It's not girl math. No, it's,
Now we have dog math. Okay, to start, when there is 15 balls out, but one goes under the couch, I now have 0 balls. When you leave for 3 hours, it's 3 hours. When you leave for 3 minutes, it is also 3 hours. Dinner's always at 5 o'clock. When it's at 5:03, you're 2 hours late. When it's at 4 o'clock, you're also 2 hours late. When pets are stopped after an hour, it equals 0 pets, and now you practically hate me. When we get to the exact same toy, we only got 1. When 1 dog walks in front of the house, it equals to 40 dragons that are trying to attack us.
That is so funny. It's so right on all the different levels. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me, and give your little pooch a little extra love from me today, would you? Thank you. Prayer plays a huge role in our lives. But can we be honest? Sometimes we deal with some pretty serious stuff, and that conversation, it's kind of hard to have with our Heavenly Father. I came across this little scenario. It's a play-by-play of a prayer between a woman and God. I want to read it to you and see if maybe you can draw some inspiration from this like I did. She says, "Okay, God, here's the thing. I'm scared. I'm trying not to be, but I am." He responds, "I know. Want to talk about it?" She says, "Do we need to? I mean, you already know." He responds, "Let's talk about it anyway. We've done this before." She says, "I know. I just feel like I should be bigger or stronger or something by now." While he waits patiently, unhurried, undistracted, never annoyed. She says, "Okay, so I'm afraid I'll do everything I can to protect my family, and it won't be enough. I'm afraid of someone I love dying. I'm afraid the world won't go back to what it was before. I'm afraid my life is always going to feel this unsettled." To which he responds, "Anything else?" She says, "Everything else." He says, "Remember how your daughter woke up the other night and came running down the hall to your bedroom?" She says, "Yes." He says, "You were still awake. So when you heard her running, you started calling out to her before she even got to you, remember? Do you remember what you called out to her?" She said, "Yeah, I said, 'You're okay, you're okay, you're okay. I'm here.'" And he says, "Why did you call out to her? Why didn't you just wait for her to get to your room?" She said, "Because I wanted her to know that I was awake, and I heard her, and she didn't have to be afraid until she reached the end of the dark hallway." He said, "Exactly. I hear you, my child. I hear your thoughts racing like feet down the dark hallway. There's another side to all this. I'm there already. I've seen the end of it, and I want you to know right here as you walk through it all, you're okay. I haven't gone to sleep, and I won't." She starts crying. "Can we sit together a while? Can we just sit here a minute before I go back to facing it all?" He says, "There's nothing I'd love more." Wow. Becky Thompson, thank you for sharing that with the world. You just inspired a whole lot of people. Oh, God hears you today. Talk with him. Everybody's got advice about having a great new year. And I gave a little bit earlier, and I just don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to pull you back to a few years ago. Let's go back to 1989, shall we? There's a movie that you likely watched. Rick Moranis was in it, and in which he's holding this gun. He's got a pack on his back, and he's running through the streets of New York. And well, this is what he had to say, and I think it's something for all of us right now.
Happy New Year. Stay fit, keep sharp, make good decisions.
Stay fit, keep sharp, make good decisions. That's it. The 3 things we need to do to have a great 2024. Thank you, Rick. Who you going to call? I've had an absolute blast hanging out with you all morning long. It's time for me to wrap things up, so I want to leave you with one final thought, your inspiring quote of the day. It's so good, from Carl Bard, who said, "Although no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start now and make a brand new ending." And that's the beauty of this time of year. As we're looking at a brand new year ahead of us, we're just in the second day. There's plenty of time to make changes and to see what we can do better. But could I maybe give you a little advice? If you're going to make big changes, do them a little bit at a time. That way it's more sustainable. It becomes more of a lifestyle than just a sudden change in behavior or routine. Because lots of times we burn ourselves out and we go back to the same old way of doing stuff. Because one thing I learned in psychology class in college is we love what we know. So as you continue to make little changes, minute changes here and there, as you go along, you're going to see a longer lasting effect, and you're not going to burn yourself out. So if you're not happy with where you're at, well, you can change that. So do it one step at a time and keep God at the center of it. Talk with Him about it. Ask Him to put people in your path that will bless you and that you can bless. They'll be beneficial for you and people that you'll be beneficial for. In fact, let's just pray that right now. Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, I pray for my brother, my sister in Christ right now, joining their faith with mine. Father, I ask you to touch their lives today. As we look at this brand new year, I ask you, Father, to help us have the strength and the courage and the boldness to make the changes that you want us to make to have the best year ever. Father, because we want to serve you well and we love you. Put people on our path that we can bless and that will bless us. Put people on our path that'll benefit us and we can benefit, Father. Put people on our path we can learn from and people that we can actually teach a little bit to. Father, as we live this life in you for your glory. In Jesus' name. Thank you, Father. Amen. Thank you for joining your faith with mine. It's always amazing that we can do that right here on the radio. All right. Well, tell you what, just in case you didn't know, I put the show up as a podcast over on Spotify, and you can check it out just here at 10:15 this morning. These talking segments, I put them up there, so you could share them with somebody. You could subscribe if you want to. Again, that's over on Spotify. Just type in Lifeline Morning Show. You'll find it right there. All right? Sound good? All right. Well, I'll see you right back here tomorrow from 6 to 10 for another Lifeline Morning Show. Can't wait, and I can't wait to hear more about what you've been up to and what God's doing in your life. So always feel free to reach out, okay? Give me on email or over on the socials. See you tomorrow.